how interested they were in our lives, what besides just what was going on in basketball. I think they really influenced me. And then when I became a coach, I was obviously lucky. We had a lot of talent, but it's evident pretty quickly that there's only about 5 or 6 ways to guard the screen and roll. And if you think you're going to find another one by being in your office at 11 o'clock at night, you're mistaken. So you gotta put the work in, but you gotta have a good life too.
Ann up front.
Ann Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. One of the talking points since Game 1 has been that with that performance by LeBron and the way it ended, that the Cavs might be very deflated. And as in your experience as a player and a coach, just what are you expecting to see from your opponent tomorrow night?
Well, I know it's not the exact same team, but we had them down 3-1 a couple of years ago, and they might have been deflated, and they came back and won. So we're expecting another great effort from them. And we've been through this too many times. We beat Houston on the road in Game 1, and the narrative was, series is over. And it seems to always be that way. There's just overreaction after a game. And not blaming all of you in this room. It's the other media people who are out on the floor. Those guys don't get it. You guys get it. It's one game, and the series changes with each game, and so all we've done is 1-1, and we're on to the next one.
Tim on the left side.
When you went over the tape, obviously LeBron scored 51, but were you generally okay with the looks you gave up? Do you think they were challenged most of the time, or were you upset with some of those looks?
With him in particular?
Yeah.
Okay with some of them. I didn't think we made him work hard enough, though. I thought everything was smooth sailing for him. And, it's one thing to have a philosophy where you're going to say, hey, we're going to, make this guy beat us and shut everybody else down. You can have that philosophy in general. A lot of teams have done it, with superstars in the past, whether you're talking about Kobe or Michael or LeBron or whoever. But it only works if you actually make the guy have to really use a lot of energy, and so that's not necessarily our strategy. Of course, we're trying to keep other guys down. But we've got to make them work harder in general. I thought our defense was subpar the other night.
When you say make it harder or make him, is that more into him? Is that generally what you think when you say make it harder?
Yeah, I mean, we've studied, the sets that they like to run, and so you get to a certain set, you've got to, know when to put pressure on them, when to back off. And it's kind of typical in a series. The first game, you sort of feel it out, and then you start to get more comfortable. And but yeah, we got to put more pressure on him. We can't just sit back and let him pick us apart.
Ryan Gorsey, San Francisco Examiner. Is Kevin one of those guys where you go back to the hotel and you're like, okay, we have him, we'll be fine, and then a day after after he has a game like he had in Game 1, what do you see out of him in practice?
Yes, Kevin is one of those guys. Ultimate confidence guys, when he's on your side. You think back to Game 7 against Houston, all those shots he hit down the stretch. There's, not many people on earth who can do, what he can do under pressure in the playoffs. So he's an unbelievable talent and safety valve anytime we need him to get a bucket. He's focused. He knows he didn't play very well in Game 1. He's excited for Game 2.
Those 5 assists that he got, can that help a guy maybe get a little more consistent, a little more confident, even if his shot's not falling?
Kevin's a great all-around player. I mean, he's going to fill up the stat sheet, and he did pass the ball well. I'm not sure a player of that caliber, requires something, an assist to get him going. I think he's got a lot going for him already.
Anthony Schmidt with The Athletic. Could you contrast the defensive challenges for Kavon in this series and Jordan Bell in this series compared to Houston when it was on the island versus Harden? Now it's LeBron, it's Love at times.
Yeah. Well, I think not just for Kavon, but for all of our bigs. The last series was about one-on-one isolation defense and then containing the dribble step back threes or, contain the dribble and defend without fouling. And it was, repetitive. Our guys got used to that. This is different. When you get switched on to LeBron, he's different from Harden. He's going to look to pass early in a possession. They're running a lot of sets, really good sets where they isolate him, but then you got Korver on a pin down, or you got Love off of a curl, and so there's more going on around that isolated player for the most part with Cleveland, and LeBron obviously such a great passer. He's gonna try to pick you apart.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The order next will be Steph Curry will be in a moment.